Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to the Games and Culture podcast. As always, I'm Caleb. That's Nick. You know the drill.
Oh.
Yes, yes. Hello, everybody. It's been a little while because there hasn't been any news. We did that top 10. It looks like you guys liked it a little bit, so we will be looking to do more of those in the future. Maybe even separate from when there's no news, but those are going to be kind of the go-to when there's no news. We kind of changed up our schedule because Nick's going to a convention next weekend. So
Good old Gen Con.
yes, he's going to spend exorbitant amounts of money.
Yep, again.
Well, maybe we should do like a Gen Con haul video for you.
Don't tempt me. I will do that.
I'm not.
I will gladly do
It
that.
could. Board game culture is bigger than it's ever been before. I was at my neighbor's house last night playing the Resident Evil card game, like a deck building game, and it was a lot of fun. Board game culture is bigger than it's ever been. It might be an idea. I'm just saying.
I'm down with it.
If you feel like you have gotten a crazy cool haul this year, we'll talk about it. But that's next weekend. We're talking about the news and stuff this week. As we start off every episode, what you been playing, Nick?
Kind of an assortment of stuff. I beat Paper Mario, beat Stellar Blade, so it's kind of like, okay, what am I doing now? I finally got around to playing God of War Valhalla DLC. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'm kind of near the end of the Hades 2 early access stuff. I've gotten to Kronos. Lost badly. But I also got to as far as you can go up into the upper route. So I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna kind of pull up the brakes of this one a little bit and let it kind of flesh itself out more.
Yeah.
So I also picked up Elden Ring, so I'm probably gonna try and shit my way through that. Got to the first major boss, got my ass beat.
As you do.
As you do. I picked up. I started playing the Sonic Frontiers DLC. I didn't get around to that playing that, and that one's. They made it way too difficult for what Sonic is. Like
it's not the criticism I expected to hear.
No, like Sonic, you're not from stuff. Stop it. You're not good enough to do that. You're not good enough. Your games don't control good enough to do that.
But I could be.
Start getting your controls first. The main game's great, but this DLC is.
Okay. I also have been playing an assortment of things. As always, League of Legends, the addiction that never goes away, never is cured, always lingering.
It's terminal.
It's terminal. Yeah, I've got it. It's terminal. But in addition to that, I still need to beat Paper Mario. Paper Mario's been kind of set to the back burner because I've been playing a whole lot of Baldur's Gate 3 right now, amongst some other things. I've gotten into Dropout's Dimension 20, which is like their D&D show. It's fantastic, very, very, very good. Cannot recommend enough, but it kind of got me in like that D&D mindset, taught me some things that I didn't know about D&D, and I've applied it to Baldur's Gate, and so now my Baldur's Gate playthrough is a little bit more successful, so I feel like I'm getting more out of the game now, so I've been kind of chewing my way through that. I also picked up two indies that I've been playing a decent amount of. Angerfoot, which is fantastic.
I can pick that up.
Yeah, fantastic. It's so much fun. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be, but in that kind of like from software kind of way where it's like, oh, I know what I did wrong. And so it's balanced, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. It's really satisfying to kick dudes in the face. And it's really satisfying to kick doors into dude's face and then they die. And then there's a pair of sneakers where I kick the door, it hits the dude's face, and then the door explodes and kills all their friends. Extra satisfying. So it's this like weird like neon white kind of speed running focus type thing in this like frantic like over the top crime city. Like crime is legal, like crime is encouraged in this city. So that's why you're just able to go and beat all these people up and take back your shoes that had been stolen from you. But the other one that I picked up is it's a Metroidvania. It's probably some a little bit closer to your vein as well. It came out in May. And I just am now. I'm sorry.
Is it Amowell?
No.
Oh.
It's called Gestalt Steam and Cinder.
Huh.
It's like steampunky, kind of Lovecraftian in its aesthetics, but it's a Metroidvania, and it takes a shit ton of stuff from Symphony of Night.
Ooh.
That's been uh capturing my attention lately as well. So playing everything except what I need to be playing, which is Paper Mario, so we can review it.
All right, I'm waiting. I mean, granted, when Paper Mario came out, I was just like nothing but Paper
Yes.
Mario.
Yes. I love Paper Mario, but there's other stuff too. So that review is still coming. I just need to get on it and finish it. So don't worry, that review is still coming. But couple betas and early looks have happened in the last couple weeks. We both have taken part in some of them. You played the Concord beta. I checked out the Marvel Rivals secondary beta. And so we have some impressions to levy. Concord's not doing great. So,
No, the first weekend that Concord was, I don't know, maybe it was when I played, because that was early access, and people were being dumb online saying, oh, the game's not doing well on Steam. Well, it's because the first weekend it was early access. You had to pre-order to get access to it. Or you
yes.
remember PlayStation Plus. So, of course, people who didn't pre-order the game were going to have access. We're not going to be able to play that game in the first weekend. So that first weekend was not much of a metric. Second weekend was open beta across all play, and they didn't have good metrics on Steam on that one. So that is a cause for concern. How I did on PlayStation, I don't know. They don't really put the numbers for that. What I played though, I don't know how the game's gonna do. Because there's some things
that I've seen, I also share that sentiment.
And that's the thing. I literally can't say it's gonna do poorly. I can't say it's gonna do well because there are things that the game does well. It's pretty bug free. It runs stable. It feels good. I can see someone clicking with its tempo. Problem is, even to me, it felt like I don't play hero shooters a lot, but although it just felt like I've played this game before. Because it's not running exactly the similar modes as Overwatch does. It's running closer to like COD modes and Valorant modes. And the characters, they don't it does kind of feel like Great Value Guardians of the Galaxy. And a lot of the characters play similar. Like one character, like we see in the trailer, like the green alien looking dude. Yeah. He's McCree. He's straight up is McCree. But it's not doing enough to make it feel different from other things, but it hasn't done anything to make it like, oh, this game is just a pile of crap. It is the definition of mid. But the things it does right, granted, it's asking $40 up front.
Yes.
However, they've already stated there's no battle passes. So it's gonna, instead of asking for your money after the fact, it's asking for your money just up front and then kind of just giving you more stuff after the fact. It's like that's a good way of doing things. You're not ripping people off, but are you gonna be able to take off with that number? I don't know. I don't think Sony has expectations that this game's gonna be like Fortnite or Warzone, anything like that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way it's gonna do that. But if it can find a stable base, maybe it can do well. But I don't know what they consider stable.
Yeah, I mean, so I watched some gameplay of it. I checked out Skill Up's kind of impression of it. He's kind of one of my go-tos for reviews and stuff like that. Shout out to him, friend of the show. Not really, but I'm just gonna keep saying it. Open invite to come on though. But he was saying too that it weirdly did not have its own identity. A lot of the gunplay felt great and stuff, but the heroes were distinct, but they felt familiar from like other places. And I think that really just shows that hero shooters are the genre is just, you need to stop making them because I mean they're everything's been done. I mean there's tons of Overwatch characters that have similarities to League of Legends characters, and there's lots of Apex characters that have similarities to Overwatch characters, and so it's just this trickle down effect where you're playing the same things and maybe they have some differences, but it's like the same mechanics overall.
And you also we have Marvel. So we have Marvel Rivals coming. That's gonna be, and that will be free to play. And also Valorant just made its way over to console.
Yeah.
So it's
the hero shooter space is extremely saturated. Like it is saturated at this point. So I like Concord charging the $40 and not doing a battle pass. Seems like you're gonna get a lot out of that $40 because if they're taking the original model that Overwatch 1 had, where you pay the $60 or $40 and they just give you everything, I think that's an interesting business proposition. You're getting those new cutscenes every week to expand the story, and I assume they're gonna add new characters, new maps, stuff like that. The problem is that that $40 may actually inhibit people from checking out the game if they're
It's
curious about it. And
it's
so one of the
it's
questions that Skill Up levied was like, should this just be free to play? Uh, it's already
I
struggling.
I bet what's gonna happen. I think its fate will be at first. I don't know if it'll go free to play it, but I think its first fate will be it's gonna make its way into PlayStation Plus, like for extra members. Like
Yeah,
you have this, you get this game.
yeah,
I think it'll be its first kind of things are going right now with
yeah.
it. Um,
It's just the greater uh, uh, trend of games of service. They're everybody has their game of service that they're locked into, and they do not have room for another one.
no, I mean
Like
I
yours is
want to.
Fortnite, mine is League of Legends, and sometimes Destiny. I haven't touched Apex in God knows how long because I don't want to juggle all those battle passes.
No,
Um, and so
I also don't play more fighting games, so like I
yeah,
generally do not have space for
and those
something like
have
that.
live service elements as well. So yeah, it's everybody's locked in at this point. I think it's interesting to me that so many publishers are taking still like holding the torch for games of service when everybody's locked in on their games of service. It's very you have to be the most compelling game on the market or hold extremely high IP value to bring people over. I think that's what
Or
that's I think that's the
just be
interesting dichotomy between Concord and Marvel Rivals, which have similar DNA, but one is wildly more successful already than the other one.
yeah. No, say also, or you just need to be really different.
Yes.
Concord is not that. Whereas like Helldivers 2, now granted, I wasn't expecting to pop off the way it did, but it did pop off.
Yeah.
But there really isn't anything like Helldivers.
Earth Defense
So
Force.
Earth Defense Force, I guess, but like
Yeah.
even then, like it's not a huge thing.
No, it's not.
There's nothing. There's no major player in that space.
Yeah.
Helldivers has moved into that space, so
Yes.
unless you can find a way to be alone in a space, you're not going to do that well. And Concord's going to a space that's already packed.
Yeah. And like I said, it's interesting to see the dichotomy between Concord and Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals just had several rounds of betas. Finally came over to console, and by all accounts is doing quite well. Game is very polished. Obviously, there's still some balancing issues. I didn't actually get to play this round of beta, unfortunately, just because how you got signed up for it was a little ambiguous and I didn't know, and so I had to rely on watching streamers to get a code, and then the codes quickly sold out. So I didn't get to play this round of betas, but it didn't look all that different from the last round of betas. They added Venom in. He looks busted as shit, which is exciting for me since Spider-Man was so underwhelming. But by all accounts, this game is going to do well. Unlike Concord, free to play when it ever it launches, it will have battle passes. But the draw is that giant Marvel IP. It's not going away. It's gonna get more successful the more characters they add into it. I mean, for God's sake, Captain America's not even in it yet.
He's coming.
Like,
He's
I don't
kill
think
come.
I don't think Wolverine's in it. I don't think Deadpool's in it. Like, there's so many characters that they haven't even begin to tap into.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very very successful as long as they keep up with the balancing and keep drawing people in. So right now there is a vacuum, at least a little bit in terms of hero shooters, because Overwatch 2 is still on the decline. Um, and so you have some ability to grab hold of some players and pull them in. Me being one of them. And so if you can produce a quality product that has a lot of value built into it, you're gonna pull people in. I think that right now Marvel Rivals has the greater value proposition over Concord, but we'll
It
see.
does.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
But yeah, so jumping into it, getting into some news, and some other kinds of announcements. Evo was last weekend.
Woo!
Going now to Nick, our live fighting game correspondent, who watched
Correspondent.
probably most of Evo,
I
because I
I did.
definitely didn't.
I
Nick,
watched.
how
I
was
was
the event?
fan-fucking-tastic. Well, what was nice for me this year around is a lot of times Evo and Gen Con take place on the same weekend, so I can't watch Evo. This year didn't happen, so I actually I stayed home and I had like my two PC screens like displaying like different streams because there's like 7 streams going on at once, and I was watching like the main stage stuff on my big TV, especially on finals because once Saturday started, there was finals going on the whole way through. I mean, shout out to one. I'm not gonna.
Well, I was gonna say let's start off with like your impressions of the event and some like highlight moments from fights that you saw, and then we can go on to any news that got announced during the
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, honestly, most did really intense stuff. I would say there was on Saturday was KOF, Mortal Kombat, Under Night, and then Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I will say I'm surprised. I'm not sure what was the issue there, but Street Fighter 3 took a while to set up because once Under Night ended, it took like an hour and a half to start Street Fighter 3 because every other game was running on PS5 and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike was running on arcade.
Damn.
So they were down for a minute. Like, we were right back because they had to take all the PS5 stuff, all that stream stuff off stream, hook up the arcade stuff to get it going.
Yeah.
But once they got it going, holy crap! Street Fighter 3 was probably one of the best of the show.
I've seen the clip of the guy playing. It was like Hunk or something, the big guy. I've seen that clip like 20 times.
It is now Evo Murder Moment 38.
Yes.
I saw that live. Holy crap! That guy was like, he didn't win the tournament, but he's become like the people's champion.
Yeah.
Because he was having a ball on stage and stuff like that. But yeah, that moment, because he was parrying the stuff in midair, landed, hit him with a move, then the Ken tried to do a super,
and he jumped it.
He jumps it, but he doesn't go. It's not like a normal jump. He uses what for that character is apparently a worthless button that is like this downward not heavy kick, but I don't remember the case, but just a heavy kick in midair. For that character, it's bad because like the wind up on that move is long, so it can be beaten out by most buttons. And if it hits a block, you're in block stun for a minute, so a character can just punish you for that. So it's a bad move that shouldn't be used. And yet he used it just to give him this little bit more airtime and allowed Ken to slip right underneath him, and he just turned around and used a super to close him. And that moves like as a 720, so you had to do the 2 full motion on the stick like that. So the execution to pull everything he pulled off was insane.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was good stuff. On Sunday we had Under Night, Guilty Gear, Tekken, and Street Fighter 6. Guilty Gear and Street Fighter 6, both their finals went to Game 10 of Grand Finals last round.
Damn.
So it was some tense matches. And what's cool with Guilty Gear specifically is for a while, Happy Chaos has been kind of a thorn in that game's side because he's just annoying to fight against. This is the first even a while that he wasn't playable. Well, not playable. He wasn't there. So the finals was between a sole bad guy and a Jacko. And Jacko's not the worst character in the game, but she's not the best. Like most characters in Guilty Gear Strive are going to hit you for 50% damage in like 2 hits. That game is explosive. Jacko, not really. She's the game's either you're really good with her or you're really bad with her. There's no in between.
Okay.
And the Jacko won.
Hey.
So like, they're really cool. Then on Street Fighter 6 wise, that was a cool story. A Kenny player won, so I was rooting for them. Same thing, went to Game 10. The guy who won Punk, he had been here in Evo before, but he's never won an Evo. But he's won other majors before, but he could never get his Evo. And now he finally got his Evo.
He's also American, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the first American to win the Street Fighter finals at Evo in like 10 years or something like that, I think is what I heard. something crazy
Something
like
like
that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was fantastic games all around.
All right. Well, if you're a fighting game fan and you missed Evo a couple weekends back, you probably should go watch some because it sounds like it was quite explosive. A few clips that I've seen just like milling around on the internet have all been very, very exciting. So it definitely sounds like fighting game paradise this year. But like a lot of other things, Evo they also announced a lot of fighting game stuff. And this year was no different. What were some of the big announcements?
So we'll work on what kind of I'll try to work my way from like least to oh shit. There were some other ones. I'm surprised Mortal Kombat saved their new character announcements for San Diego Comic-Con, not Evo, but whatever.
Aside from that, because I did see that, I think that is just cultural zeitgeist. I think Mortal Kombat has kind of transcended fighting games and is just like a cultural,
it is Mortal Kombat is the most casual fighting game, like by far.
Yeah.
But
and I bet you WB just needed stuff for their announcements. They're like, we have like 2 things.
Yeah.
You're making an announcement.
Under Night and Guilty Gear showed off. Not Guilty Gear. Under Night and Grand Blue showed some new characters. I forget who they were off the top of my head. Street Fighter 6 showed our first glimpse at Terry in the RE engine. His face looks a little. It was weird because he came off so stylized, and Street Fighter 6 is realistic. So it's like that's a little different looking, but you can get used to it. I'm excited to finally get our hands on him when he comes out in the fall. What was it, Street Fighter 6? Tekken announced their next DLC fighter. It's Hiachi.
Yep.
Because that motherfucker can't stay dead.
I love how we're just in the day and age of fighting games. We're like, hey, we killed this character. He's a mainstay, but guess what? Now he's going to be DLC for the rest of time.
Well, apparently, like, that's going to come with a whole story.
They did it with Bison too. So,
well, both Bison and Hiachi. Hiachi got a little Bison got a little bit of story bit, but Hiachi's getting a whole ass story mode to explain his resurrection.
Okay, at least you're getting that, I guess. Okay,
but. I mean, yeah. I think I've said this before. I'm not sure if I said it on the podcast. Fighting games are the soap operas of video games. They have a whole wide cast of characters that they have to create the most batshit insane reasons for them to fight each other constantly till the end of time.
You're not wrong.
Then we get to Guilty Gear, which was probably the most insane announcement out of Evo. So Guilty Gear usually just doesn't announce their whole season pass slate at once. They usually just go one at a time as they get the character gets ready to go to launch. But they decided, now this time we're going to announce the whole pass. So they have Dizzy and Venom returning from previous Guilty Gears. They both were in Xrd.
Not the anti-hero.
Not that Venom. Not that Venom. Then they're adding Unica, who's a new character from the upcoming Guilty Gear Strive anime. So no one's surprised she's got in the game. But you can maybe do anime, like you're gonna get in the game. The big one, though, we are returning to the era of batshit insane fighting game crossovers. Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners is gonna be a playable character in Guilty Gear Strive.
It's so weird. It's so cool. It's so weird, though.
Yeah. Did I expect it? No. Am I 100% into it? Yes. I mean, literally in my chair. It's like I was not. Guilty Gear Strive is a weird game for me because I think Xrd is a better game mechanically than Strive is. So I really I don't sure want to get back into Strive or not. And then I said Lucy's coming. Like, well,
the decision was made for me.
Yeah, exactly. The decision was made for me. As soon as the pass went live, I'm like, here's $25. Give me the Phison pass. You have my money now. Even though she's like a year away, because she'll be the last character to pass.
Worth the wait, though.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people. Some people are questioning like, why wasn't like someone like Ragna from Blaze Blue? I'm like,
that's too easy. It's too easy.
It's too easy, and I feel like that's asking Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear Strive specifically to be something it's already shown it's not. Guilty Gear Strive has already shown it doesn't want to be a a game that tries to appeal to the core fighting game base. It wants to try and bring in new people. That's why it's mechanically is stripped down compared to Xrd. So them picking a random anime character is more in line with that philosophy versus just picking a fighting game character.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But I'm excited. They've also have hinted at, because some people are asking also, why did you pick Lucy? She's not the main character. David is. I won't spoil it for you here, but they have said they can't not tell us why they picked Lucy because it would be spoilers for why they picked Lucy. Whatever they're planning, it sounds like they're going to try and make it as canon as possible.
Interesting. So I wonder if CD Projekt Red is involved in any kind of way, or
I'll put it this way, Jimmy, kind of get the picture I'm painting with that. I don't want to spoil Edgerunners at all for anybody. The story theme of Strive for all the characters is really coming to terms with their past and accepting it and moving on. And since you've seen Cyberpunk Emergence, you kind of realize Lucy's the best fit for that.
fair. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so for sure. The only news that I knew about from Evo, Braum is coming to 2XKO, which is super.
Oh
cool.
yeah, I forgot about 2XKO. I forgot about
Yes.
that. Well, because I'm not calling it 2XKO. That's a bad name.
2XKO.
Please change the name.
Honestly, I'm just calling it because you hate it. Yeah, Braum is one of my favorite characters from League of Legends. He's this big, burly Fred Lordian guy that doesn't wear a shirt even though it's cold because his muscles keep him warm. He's got a mustache. He ripped the door off of this like castle and he uses it as a fucking shield. And so he looks like he's going to be pretty fun to use in 2XKO. So that was exciting for me. I was like, that's one of my favorite characters when I used to play his position, which is support. So super cool, super cool.
I'm really hoping soon they put that game like into a public beta because I mean I like what I've seen so far, but it's like I just at this point I want to get my hands on it. Let me feel it.
Yeah, they really are slow rolling the kind of like interest in it. So like they're only showing it at fighting game events for the most part. They've not done any online beta or anything like that. So I definitely think I respect the strategy of getting it into professional people's hands. Because someone like you or someone that professionally plays fighting games would have a lot more to say about it than me, someone that's a little more casual. But they had it playable at Evo last year, so and you had it playable at Evo this year. Why didn't you just do like a beta with the same build that you showed off at Evo, but more people could get their hands on it?
I wouldn't doubt it's gonna come soon because I think the game is coming out next year, like officially. I think it'll do well. It will be free to play. Then Riot seems, they know how to enter markets. They do the same thing as Valorant. So I have no doubt the game is gonna do well. But I was like, I sound more like, let me play it. Let me finally try it for myself.
Yeah, their cautiousness about releasing it just makes me more cautious as a player. It's like, why are you? I mean, if this thing is as good as you say it is, man, then you just gotta get everybody screaming it from the hilltops, get it in people's hands. So it's just interesting the slow roll when pretty much everybody unanimously is like, yeah, this is going to be good. So it's like there's very little doubts around it. So just interesting.
Yeah. I'm go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You're good.
I just am more curious how they're going to where I'm more just curious about where they're going to land in the pantheon of other games at Evo. Because I mean, once it is out, it will get an Evo slot. I'm just more curious, like, will it be upper echelon or lower echelon? I'm more just curious.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna pass Street Fighter 6 or Tekken. Those two I feel like are just too locked in.
I mean, yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, if enough players gravitate towards it, maybe it could.
It could. Possibly being free to play and all.
Just depends. So let's keep the good news train rolling. Multiple studios have unionized.
Both under Microsoft.
Yeah, both of them. Yes, both of them work for Microsoft. You take that news with what you will. But this is a trend in gaming that both of us are very excited to see. Protections getting put in place for these devs that are for the last 3 decades have been pretty abused, thanks to management and publishers. So the first one, Bethesda Game Studios, is unionizing, and it is a complete wall-to-wall unionization. So it's unlike a lot of other unions out there. It is everybody. So in the past, we've seen QA testers just unionize. This is absolutely everybody. So this is the first full unionization of a game studio, which is really cool. And for it to be Bethesda Game Studios,
Mm-hmm.
not some smaller studio, really speaks to the importance of this. So it's 241 developers at Bethesda Game Studios, artists, engineers, programmers, designers, all of them, all sorts of people, part of the union. And Microsoft thankfully has recognized the union. So they said in a statement, I'm quoting the IGN article here, but they said it's their statement here. We, a majority of developers at Bethesda Game Studios, Dallas, Rockville, and Austin, are ecstatic to announce the formation of our union with CWA Union. Together as one Bethesda Game Studios USA, we advocate for the betterment of every developer at Bethesda Game Studios, setting a new standard for our industry. Um, like I said, they now will enter negotiation phases with Microsoft on a variety of things: better pay, locked in working hours, anti crunch things, all of that kind of stuff. Um, a senior system designer, Mandy Parker, said in a statement via press release, "We are so excited to announce our union at Bethesda Game Studios and join the movement sweeping across the video game industry. It is clear that every worker can benefit from bringing democracy into the workplace and securing a protected voice on the job. We're thrilled to get down to brass tacks and win a fair contract, proving that our unity is a source of real power to positively shape our working industry, our working conditions, our lives, and the company as a whole." Uh, so fantastic news. Absolutely
No.
fantastic news. Um, and then following suit, more than 500 workers at Blizzard working on World of Warcraft are union as well. And this one is another like pretty wall to wall union as well. So again, designers, engineers, artists, QA testers, and more are joining the Communication Workers of America Union. Um, uh, and again, so it's the World of Warcraft Game Makers Guild CWA Union is the first wall to wall union seen at Activision Blizzard, and it's the largest of its kind at a Microsoft owned studio to date. So this one's even bigger than that Bethesda one. Like I said, almost 500 workers a part of it. Um, and again, Microsoft has indeed uh, recognized the union. So it's pretty awesome to see that this is just growing more and more widespread. But as you said at the top, both of these are indeed Microsoft owned studios. I don't know about you. I have not heard of very many people unionizing at Nintendo or Sony owned studios.
Well, I mean that's because Nintendo. I don't know. Sony. I don't know. I'm more just saying these are both Microsoft owned studios because, matter of fact, that's what they are.
Yes.
I'm not looking at it as some sort of negative. I mean, I'm more just saying like we shit on them a lot, and deserve for things they deserved it for. But them recognizing it is a good thing.
Yes.
I mean, I'm personally of the opinion I don't think any company should be allowed to not recognize it. Like they unionize, deal with it.
Yep.
But that's not the world we live in. Microsoft easily could have tried to fight it, but they didn't. So for all the shit I give them, this is the correct move.
Yeah, I do think though there is something you said. Maybe not so much on the Nintendo side, but on the Sony side, a lot of their devs, a lot of their most famous devs are American studios. Insomniac, Santa Monica, San Diego, Ben Studios, Naughty Dog. All of them are North American studios. And I do think that there is some kind of story to tell there where we are not seeing any
Yet,
unionization efforts
yeah,
there yet. So it's
I,
either
I,
Sony
I, I
has some kind of policy or
my bet is it will happen soon. That these are just like opening salvos. I think this is going to start a wave. I think Sony will be we'll hear Sony Studios unionizing within time.
well, we'll see. I do think that it is interesting though that the studios that are seeking it are uh the most last like 3 rounds from have been
I mean, to be fair, with Activision Blizzard specifically, there were talks about it before they were bought out.
yeah.
So, and Microsoft during the whole campaign to buy Activision say we're going to recognize it. So, I wouldn't doubt a lot of specifically Activision stuff was just hold it, but what the deal go through if it's going to go through, and if that way, if this does happen, we don't have to deal with a fight.
Yeah.
So once now it's gone through, they're not going to deal with a fight anymore. They know Microsoft would recognize it.
Yes. Uh, Regardless of the reasoning behind it, it's still good to see. Because I mean, like I said, uh, better wages, protections from things like uh
Crunch and
crunch and just everybody
consistency.
deserves a good work-life balance, including people that make video games.
Like no,
Crunching
it's.
for 80 hours a week, 6 days out of the 7 days, that's no way to live.
I mean, every worker in any industry deserves a union, but in video games specifically, like this will be nothing but good for those companies. Like
Yes.
we've mentioned before, talk about Supergiant Games, how they can't treat their employees, and it shows in their work.
Yes.
So, like, hopefully, this for WoW and whatever Bethesda does next, this will show in their work, like it's why this was necessary.
For sure. So enough with the good news. Nobody clicks on our videos to watch good news. They click on our videos because there's always something on fire in the thumbnail. So let's get to the fire shit. Humble Games, a division. Oh,
SAG-AFTRA.
oh, I mean, yeah, I thought that was either way. So we'll get to that one in a second. So, video game actors on strike. SAG-AFTRA has announced a new strike. This one targeting video game actors. The Screen Actors Guild of America, SAG-AFTRA, called for a walkout this week on behalf of roughly 2,600 actors doing voiceover, motion capture, and other work inside the gaming industry. I'm referencing the Los Angeles Times article here. SAG-AFTRA president Fran Drescher, who is just a really cool human. I mean, if you're a fan of the 90s sitcom The Nanny, fabulous. She's done so much better work being the president of SAG-AFTRA. It's amazing. We're not going to consent to a contract that allows companies to abuse AI to the detriment of our members. Enough is enough, said Fran Drescher. So yeah, so the cornerstone of this strike is they've been in negotiations since 2022 and have not reached a compromise up to this point, and that's why they're striking. They want wage increases. They want better work-life balance. They want set medics for hazardous jobs, which I can't believe that's something that they have to fucking ask for. But the biggest thing is they want to require that video game producers obtain these actors' consent to and compensate them when using AI to replicate voices or likenesses. So it's the same thing that we just saw wrap up with the last SAG-AFTRA strike that was for actors and writers. AI protections are huge right now, and obviously it makes sense. If Troy Baker does a role, and then they're just like, "Yeah, we're here. We're doing the sequel of the game. We actually don't need you because we'll just use your likeness from the first game, and we'll have AI replicate your voice and do the voiceover so that we don't have to pay you anything, Troy Baker. That's going to save us money. Bigwigs upstairs going to love that." No, that should not be a thing.
No.
At all.
I mean, I'm also the person to believe that the whole AI thing it's a bubble that's gonna pop. Like these companies are chasing fool's gold with this thing, because it's all these AI companies, they're not making money. Like, so it is a bubble that's going to pop. And also the energy and requirements used to make AI are insane. Like it is not sustainable, and yet they're chasing this pipe dream because they don't want to spend money on people. So it's which we'll discuss more. Like a lot of these CEOs, a lot of these shareholders they look at short-term gains versus long-term sustainability.
Yes.
That's exactly what this is. And but good on SAG-AFTRA for making sure, like, no, we're not. Even if this is a bubble that's going to pop, we need to make sure our people are protected in the long term.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, and it's I mean, these voice actors, these actors, their voice, their likenesses is their brand. So you're essentially stealing themselves from themselves, and they deserve to be compensated for it.
I don't
Something
go to
along
a
the lines of
convention.
like royalties or something like that.
I don't go to conventions to meet a AI. I go to conventions to meet a human.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, more power to him. I would so weirdly enough, I don't know if you knew this coming out of the story, but Rockstar actually responded to this
interesting.
happening. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna pull up something to. So I didn't know that this was a thing, but the strike is happening, but there's exemptions around the strike. So there's like so this is not going to get in the way of other games coming out. So there is an exemption, and so Rockstar was very quick to be like, "Hey, we're good. None of our people are striking."
Well, because I know there was because there's a list on the SAG-AFTRA site of what studios are being targeted. Because there's certain studios being targeted. Insomniac is one of them.
Yes, it is. So delay to Wolverine, but yeah, there's an exemption. So the SAG-AFTRA strike technically only applies to recently started projects. And so that is what Rockstar is citing by being exempt. I'm quoting PC Gamer here. GTA 6 and many other games are exempt from the strike because it doesn't affect games that started production over a year ago, according to statements from the union and game makers, which were acquired by Kotaku.
Okay.
In the FAQ, SAG-AFTRA explains that some companies have games that cannot be struck due to certain contract terms, and so it is easier to think of the strike in terms of struck games as opposed to struck companies.
Okay, so that makes sense. So you just said delay to Wolverine. So no delay to Wolverine because that started a few years ago.
Yeah.
So what is going to probably get hurt though is clearly Spider-Man 3 will be a thing one day.
Yeah.
That's probably getting hit.
If this doesn't wrap up, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, and so lots of people are not happy about this gigantic company and this gigantic game being exempt. In a report on Aftermath, SAG-AFTRA Chief Contracts Officer Ray Rodriguez said that the union is obviously not happy about the GTA 6 exemption, but affirmed that the rule about already in development games exists, saying it was bargained into a legacy agreement created before the SAG and AFTRA unions merged.
Yeah.
It's language that merged unions basically inherited that I think is insane, said Rodriguez, but it's there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the union's FAQ notes, however, that although members will not be disciplined for working on these games, they may still choose to stand in solidarity with their fellow members by refusing to cross a picket line for these games, and their employer is contractually prohibited from discriminating against them in this choice.
Yeah, that's fair. Everything seems to be up and up. I get it. I understand like why these type of games should be affected, but if the contract is stated, they would be more trouble for breaking that. So they're doing the best they can with the hand they were dealt. Now, granted, if they make a new contract, I guarantee that's not going to be there to make sure it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, I think what's just particularly striking about that was how quickly GTA was like, "No, we're good. We're not. We're not part of this. Just letting you know, GTA is going to come out whenever it comes out. Like, just letting you know, like, you didn't have to say anything." kind of just makes you look worse for wear. Like, this is an important strike. People care
I,
about what is going
it's
on.
I mean, I agree, but they're a publisher. They're the bad guys in this, so of course they're gonna say something trying to see like it's that honestly that statement wasn't for us. It was for shareholders.
You're probably right. In fact, I guarantee you're right. Because that leads me to the next bit of news that you brought to my attention. Capcom had a little call with shareholders about some upcoming releases. And it kind of just highlights how out of touch these shareholders are. So,
Yeah,
why
let's
don't
go.
you give us the rundown?
Let's let's see. Before we get to Capcom, let's go back to Humble Games real quick because that story is gonna feed into this too.
Okay. So Humble Games, the indie game publishing division of Humble Bundle, has closed. They laid off their entire staff, which is under 50 people. And so they've published a lot of indie games that are super love. Iconfell, Forager, Hat in Time, Slay the Spire, Wizard of Legend, all of which have been published under the Humble Games publishing arm. And yeah, they're just canned. Humble Games confirmed in a LinkedIn post that there had been a restructuring at the company, and that they're closing the doors. So Humble Bundle will still exist, still go on. It's just that the publishing arm is being closed. So yeah, just really sucks. And so Humble released a statement. This decision was not made lightly. It involved much deliberation and careful thought, with the goal of ensuring the stability and support of our developers and ongoing projects. That statement is bullshit, because how are you ensuring the stability of ongoing projects when you've closed down and no longer have any ongoing projects?
Mhm.
I'm assuming that this was just to line the pockets of somebody at the top.
Oh, it was because there. I forget where the name was, but I saw something. Basically, they had like a new CEO, and basically he wanted money now
Yeah.
because he didn't like the fact that hey, we have to invest money now, and we're not going to see it again to a few more years. And they just like, as these CEOs do, oh, we're getting money now, so close them down, blah 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 blah. And it's like they don't think in long term. They think, can I do for the next quarterly report? That's it.
Yeah.
It's literally the destructive chase of infinite growth again.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that chase cost 50 people their jobs, approximately. And like, this is not like, I mean, they were, I guess you could say they were a small publisher, but they published some really fucking huge games. I mean, Slay the Spire, Hat in Time, those are huge games. Uh, Void Bastards, Forager, Iconfell, Wizard of Legend, all have dedicated fan bases that love those games. And so yeah, this is sad to see, because a lot of times these layoffs have been affecting the biggest companies, but now we're seeing some small companies take hits of big company level greed.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I know, so we can feed into the Capcom shareholder stuff. And again, this feeds into the point we're making, because the guy's statement, the shareholders, we don't know who their name was, but it is a snapshot of literally how these morons think, and it shows the entire problem. The shareholder asked a Capcom executive 2 questions, both idiotic. If they just paid any sort of attention, they would already know the answer to these questions. The first question they asked was, well, there's 140 million or something so Switches out there. Well, why is this game not being sold on the Switch? Which, just look at the game. Like, how do you not see the game? Like, clearly the Switch is not capable of running this thing. And good thing the Capcom had a good response. We want to push the technical limits of this game, and the only systems capable of doing that are the PS5, Xbox, and PC. Like, that's just reality. Like, we all saw what happened with Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch. You want to do that again?
No.
No.
Monster Hunter Rise was designed for the Switch. Monster Hunter Wilds and Monster Hunter World, by proxy, were not, and that's why they're not going to be on the Switch. It's simple math there.
Yeah. Then he has a second question. This is the real, like, bruh. He asked him, why are you not releasing this game in the holiday of this year to make sure you get more profits? Because it's not ready. Like, it's that simple.
Not ready. It is. It's that simple.
The executive did respond, like, we'll announce the release date for the game when preparations for the game are complete. And that's the only answer you give. Like, but again, they'd have no thought process showing at all. Because there's how many disasters have we seen that a game was rushed to the door by these shareholders and it crashed and burned and caused so many problems? Cyberpunk, like Suicide Squad, Anthem. The graveyard is full, and like, I mean, even with games like, again, let's go with Cyberpunk because we do play that game now, but how much that game is not as profitable as it should have been.
No,
because it crashed and burned when it came out in 2020. So many refunds had to be given for that. It's cutting into the profits of that game. Then they spent 3 years on a single-player game fixing it. That cost money.
Sure did.
Did they probably make a profit on it? Sure, but nowhere near as much as they were wanting to.
Exactly right.
And that's what happens when you rush these things. And so, how do you have the audacity to even ask this question when you know why? And Monster Hunter is literally one of their biggest franchises, if not the biggest one now.
Like, you could argue that it's toe and toe with
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to rush this game out the door. It will be ready when it's ready. And when it's ready, it's going to make a shit ton of money.
Yes, it is, because it's releasing on PS5, Xbox, and PC the same day this time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a solid Game of the Year contender. If Grand Theft Auto 6 gets delayed out of next year, like it might, there is a huge case to be made for Monster Hunter Wilds being Game of the Year. So yeah.
It doesn't get that. It doesn't get that you rush out the door.
Absolutely not. No. I mean, this just highlights how out of touch the shareholders are. That's kind of a dumb statement, right? Because these shareholders are not people that play video games. They're not people that know video games. They are people that invested in a business to make money. And that point is just reiterated here with these stupid questions asked of Capcom, who right now are at the height of their popularity, like ever probably. Like, they for the last 10 years have hit banger after banger after banger after banger after banger, after absolutely botching the 7th generation of consoles. So
Capcom's been here. They know the lessons of what not to do.
yes,
again, that's what baffles me about this whole thing, though. Is, okay, fine, you're an investor, you're trying to make money. Okay, fine, you're trying to make money, but you could see what works and what doesn't.
Well, if you want, here's the thing: they can't, because they don't know the industry. They don't pay attention to the industry. I bet you if you looked at the boardroom of investors and asked them if they knew the story of Cyberpunk 2077, I'd be hard pressed to say that most of them probably don't. Yeah.
But, and again, that still bothers me. How the fuck are you going to invest in an industry you know nothing about?
Because people see, because video gaming,
they see dollar signs.
Yeah, video gaming is the largest entertainment industry in the entire world. It makes more money than movies. It makes more money than TV shows. It makes more money than books. It makes more money than music. So investors just see this giant pile of money and want their cut out of it without ever knowing the ins and outs of the industry, which is crazy to me, because movies, TV shows, music, books, and video games all are different and have different ways of making money, and that way changes. Music today, artists make most of their money off of the tours, which 20 years ago it was the inverse. The tours made them no money. Album sales are what made them money. But we're in a new digital age where people are streaming music. Artists don't make shit off Spotify. Spotify, getting on Spotify, putting your song on Spotify gets people to buy the ticket to your show, then they come buy merch and shit from you at the show, and that's how you're making your money.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean I knew all that, but again, I'm more just like
it's crazy to me that people just think that they can jump into this industry and make money. That's why we haven't seen a new console since the Xbox. Is because anybody that jumps into this industry thinking they know what they're doing immediately gets kicked in the nuts and pushed out the door.
Yeah, but again, my point is just like I don't understand why would you take a bet on your money if you don't know how to make sure you get the return correct? That's what I don't understand. Like you're just trying to like I'm gonna bet money on the house, and if I don't, I'm gonna be pissed. Like it's your fault for gambling like that.
It's because all of them think they know better than the next guy.
And again, so they're just like, you're right. Yeah. These are kind of rhetorical questions, and it's more just like how do these people keep failing upwards?
That's the better question. That's the better question in my mind. Is exactly that. But we will never know. We will never know until this channel blows up and we become filthy rich and we can make some harebrained investments as well.
It's just so. I agree, man. I saw this statement. I thought that is literally the perfect snapshot of what the problem is.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it is. Can't wait for my investment into the pickleball industry. I think that's going to be really huge. I know I've never played the game. I'm sure that it'll do fine. Surely it's not a flash in the pan that everybody's just playing right now, and that'll change in 3 years. Absolutely not. It'll be fine. But yes, shareholders, publishers are the problem. Never forget that. Never forget that. And talking about publishers that are problems, Xbox. We were just praising them, and with every praise has to come a swift kick in the ass. You know, when they bought Activision Blizzard, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna do anything just because we bought the largest publisher. There's not gonna be any changes to what we do." Yeah, that was a lie.
That was a fucking lie.
That was a fucking lie. Hit X for doubt. Microsoft's hiking the price up of Game Pass ahead of Call of Duty coming to it. They'll tell you that's not the case, but it's the case.
That's the case.
And the price increases are quite significant. So
and
right now, sorry,
and confusing,
yeah. So now there's like 50 tiers. Well, there's 3 tiers. There's 3 tiers instead of 2. And depending on what tier you have, determines what the fuck you're getting out of Game Pass. So let's get into it. So the simplest change, PC Game Pass, is going up from $10 to $12. Cool, whatever.
Everything else remains the same.
Yeah, that remains the same. Where they're really squeezing you is on the Xbox. So the Game Pass core tier, so basically their Xbox Live Gold, yeah, that is staying the same price, and you're not getting any Game Pass with it.
No, and you never did anyway. They just had a small selection of games, so that was literally unaffected.
Yep. Then goes their standard Game Pass will now be $15.
So this was Game Pass. This was called Game Pass consoles. These are people who didn't want to play online, just wanted Game Pass itself. So maybe a small portion, but still, they were paying like same pass PC Game Pass was paying.
Yeah.
Now they're getting like a $5 upcharge.
Yep.
Plus, no more day and date games.
Yep. So this will be just the catalog. Day one games will not be a part of it. So I'm sure that those day one games will eventually come over in some capacity. They haven't really said, because obviously why would they? And so yeah, it's Game Pass without the day one titles. So if you have that standard tier, you ain't playing Call of Duty, fam. Sorry.
Unless you have Ultimate.
Yep. And so Game Pass Ultimate is taking a gigantic hike. So right now, Game Pass Ultimate is $16.99. It is jumping all the way up to $20 a month, and that is where you will get the day one releases. PC Game Pass will still get the day one releases, so I don't really understand why we're special, aside from the fact that we're special. But yeah, this is a huge price increase that they said that they weren't going to do. And this all goes in effect in September, I believe.
Mhm.
Guess what game comes out in October?
Good old Call of Duty.
Bingo. So the FTC has filed a complaint about this, basically saying, you did what you said you weren't going to do.
Right.
Microsoft has already said, well, no, we planned these price increases ahead of time. This was already going to happen. So that complaint is probably not going to go anywhere. But this really is Microsoft doing these things that they said that they weren't going to do.
I mean, if it's the United States, so I mean, we're probably not going to have a judge actually worth their salt. But a good judge go, bullshit. No, you clearly were lying here.
Yeah,
but
because they didn't even know yet that they were going to bring Call of Duty Game Pass. But regardless, so yeah, this is Game Pass. This is Microsoft taking advantage of Call of Duty's power and throwing it on Game Pass
and showing how desperate they are.
Yeah,
because this is a massive increase on the console side. This is a massive increase. Like if you're just on Game Pass standard, you're getting a 33% increase.
Yeah,
like, and you're losing benefits.
And you're losing benefits. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a degraded product. Things change all the time. This is a degraded product. This is absolutely a degraded product. And then there's people like, well, Sony doesn't offer day-and-date games. They never made it part of the program in the first place. Yeah. This is just Microsoft saying, we gave you something, now we're going to take it away and charge you more.
Yeah, because I mean, even at their Microsoft press conference 2 months ago, well, a month and a half ago, they said, play day one access with Game Pass.
Yeah, that has been a cornerstone of Xbox for a while. That is literally the focal point of Xbox. You can't use that with Sony because Sony didn't make that their cornerstone. Yeah. It's like, hey, here's a little buffet on the side if you want that. That's kind of a side thingy. Give me $7 per game, please.
Yeah,
they were upfront about that.
There's some sides over there. But yeah, no, this is them throwing Call of Duty's weight around and making more money off of it. That's just simply what it is.
Yeah, and they're fleecing.
Claim that they had this price increase in the market for a while. No, you didn't.
Because fucking shit.
Without Call of Duty, I guarantee you, not too many people are going to pay that $20.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was gonna say the what they're doing is Xbox console sales are not growing. They're falling behind the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So to get more juice out of their existing player base, they're just upping the price and making them charging more.
Yes.
But because they want to increase Game Pass on PC, that's why the PC gamers aren't losing day one Game Pass stuff and are not getting that much of an upcharge, because they want the growth out of there. But it's you're not gonna get growth out of there. PC players want to play on Steam.
Yep.
Ask Epic. They keep trying. It ain't working.
Yep. Yeah, this is just Microsoft abusing Call of Duty's power in the way that they said that they weren't going to do. Simple as that. Let us know in the comments if you're one of our Xbox viewer fans. I don't think there's probably too many of you, considering how much we shit on Xbox. Deservedly so. Deservedly so. We praise them when they deserve it. Hi-Fi Rush. And we kick their ass when they don't, when they close Tango Studios. But yeah, I mean, this is just price increase for price increase sake. And removing of features to make you pay more for Call of Duty. Because they know that anybody on Xbox that was going to get Call of Duty was going to play through it, was going to play on Game Pass. And so why not get an extra $5 to $10 extra off of them? Why not? Which is disappointing, because they had an opportunity to not do that, but whatever. It's not going to affect my life any.
No, because I'm not going to get Game Pass, but again, this as I said before, this Activision thing has turned into a curse almost. Mm-hmm. I mean, the blessing is honestly just on the employee side. They got unionized, so Activision would have fought that.
Microsoft fine. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that has been the solo benefit, but everything else has been a curse because now the bean counters at Microsoft are heavily involved. This was definitely a bean counter decision.
Yeah.
Because they need more money. Because for a while, Satya Nadella is the head of Microsoft itself. his bonus was tied not to console sales or anything like that, but to Game Pass subscriptions. A couple years ago, he missed out on a hefty bonus because they missed the targets.
Mhm.
So you just spent $70 billion of Microsoft's money, and you making them lose bonus money? No, they're involved now. There's a spotlight on that division, that company, like none other.
As always, open invitation to Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, or Phil Spencer to talk about your dog shit company. But yeah, no, yeah, the higher ups of Microsoft are now looking at Xbox, going, "What are you doing?
Where's my
We are
money?
stepping in. We are going to help you make back our money." Because I don't know if you've forgotten this, but that was our money.
That was
Your
not a
division,
gift. That was a loan.
your division has hardly made us money since your inception, and so we need to start getting some money out of this. So.
I mean, look
So
how
yeah,
Sea of Thieves did on PS5. Do you really think that's gonna be the last game they put on PS5 now?
yeah, it's absolutely not.
Mm,
It's
No.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the world turns. And Mike's, we can always guarantee for a flaming Xbox logo in our in our thumbnail. So thank you,
Mhm.
Microsoft, for that. Let's get into some entertainment news. This weekend was San Diego Comic Con, huge pop culture event. Got a lot of different news from a lot of different places. But we'll start off with some smaller stuff. The Halo show has been canceled.
This is what happens when you make it a don't follow, try to shit on your legacy and don't honor what the existing franchise was doing before. Like, I don't. Halo is just another iteration of a capstone of not going with the source material. Like, I don't know why a lot of video games stuff don't do that and trying to honor what was came before. I mean, this had Fallout, which the opposite of that. They honored what was that world's, you know,
Yes.
or existing stuff, and it worked. Halo didn't, and it
Yeah.
paid the price.
Yep.
No one's gonna miss it.
Yeah. The show was universally panned, pretty much across the board. So it was not a big surprise when the announcement came through that it was getting canceled. What surprised me about the announcement was that Microsoft and 343 basically said they were going to shop the series around, like, and Paramount gave them the permission to say, yeah, you can go shop it around. So that is in its future. I don't think any network will probably pick this one up. But
I mean, you never know with Netflix sometimes.
that's true. But their benchmark for quality has increased over the last year or so. So maybe they're out of their down phase. But yeah, it sounds like 343 and maybe even Microsoft still believe in the series and are going to try to shop it around a little bit. I don't think that's going to go too well. So this is more than likely the end of the Halo show, but it is possible. I mean, stranger things have happened. 4 seasons of it, but
I was thinking the same thing.
but yeah, so yeah, Halo's dead, rising from its ashes, in a way. A couple weeks ago, they announced a Yakuza TV show. It's titled Like a Dragon Yakuza. Uh, everybody knows I'm a big fan of the Like a Dragon / Yakuza franchise. Nick is a budding fan of it. The series is going to follow Kiryu. They could pretty much confirm that, but they showed their first teaser of it this past couple days, and it looks great. Looks awesome.
Yeah.
They didn't really
Looks like
show much.
Yakuza. No, but it
Yeah,
looks like Yakuza.
it looks like Yakuza.
I
Kiryu's
mean,
got the dragon tattoo. We're good. I'm cool.
what I want out of the show, though, I really want, because I mean, like the main stories of Yakuza game, at least like the original one with Kiryu, they're fairly serious, but it's the side quests that are like, what the shit's happening?
Yes.
I want a scene where you have to have a break dance battle against the Michael Jackson lookalike.
I hope that is the case where we get some of the notable side quests out, and even if they're like side adventures that happen in the first like 5 minutes of the show, like obviously, just like you said, this is a very intense crime melodrama, and in the main story quest, yeah, there's not a lot of time for humor and shit, like shit's going down, but everything surrounding that melodrama is the wackiest shit known to man. And so I really do, I think you would be foolish not to lean into that just a little bit. Maybe not as much as the games do, but
No, because you're time constrained.
Yeah, but definitely do it. Like, even if it's just like, say
You
there's
you
like
know
10 episodes, every other episode there's some kind of reference to it. Maybe if it's just in the beginning of the episode, like Kiryu, you know, walks inside sweaty or something. Somebody's like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "I just got into a breakdance battle. It was crazy." And you show like a small cutaway clip of it, and then get back to the melodrama. Like that would be perfect. But yeah, that's part of the Yakuza identity is that
a
wackiness.
ki- a karaoke scene.
Exactly.
Those scenes get wild.
Exactly. Like there's got I think karaoke is probably like the most famous mini game. I feel as though there needs to be multiple references to karaoke.
Mhm.
I'm not saying a song an episode, but like I would say like
I
at
want
least
one
two or
number. I want one song number.
every episode.
Oh no, just
No, just
I
all
want
across the whole
just
season.
just
Yeah.
just just one, just one in the whole
And I
season. Like
hope they do it in the Yakuza way too, because when you do karaoke in the Yakuza games, you start singing, but halfway through the song, it
it
shifts
just
to
turns.
like this over the top music video. And so I
Yes, I
really
want.
hope that continues to happen because
Mhm.
it's fantastic. Uh, I'm very excited for this show. I know you're very excited for the show as well. Can't wait for the Ichiban spinoff because that's when the real shit happens. Because those games they
That is
they
all weird.
they take a step back from the melodrama and take 20 steps forward into the weird, and it's perfect. Infinite Wealth still on the top of my list for game of the year. I'm just saying. We'll see if it gets dethroned. I don't know. I still have to finish Rebirth, but like Infinite Wealth was just like a part of me like wants to go back and play it again. But all right, and then so let's move into San Diego Comic Con news. So some off the wall shit has happened. So we'll save the crazy stuff for last. So let's get some stuff. So they obviously like they showed that teaser at San Diego Comic-Con, which is fantastic. Let's start off with some DC stuff. So James Gunn is doing a new animated series called Creature Commandos. It's going to be on Max. It's so much like Suicide Squad. It's going to follow a crew of incarcerated monster misfits charged with saving the world. Voice cast includes Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. I'm referencing CNET's article just for reference. Obviously, all reference articles will be in the comments below. In the description below. Um, Stephen G as Economos, Anya Charlotta as Cersei, Zoe Chow as Nina Mazursky, Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., Sean Gunn as G.I. Robot and Weasel, David Harbour as Frankenstein, and Alec Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus. Gunn wrote all 7 episodes of the series, and it's coming out on Max in December. So that looks like that could be pretty fun. James Gunn is the master of the weird. This looks like it's going to be pretty weird. Animated show format's probably going to give him lots of stuff to work with.
Right?
So yeah, that's pretty great. Other DC news. They announced a new crime drama centered around the Penguin,
Hmm.
and um, Colin Farrell is going to be the Penguin.
Hmm. Is that for based off the Batman
Yes.
stuff? That's
Yep.
what I thought. Okay.
Yep.
That's been
So
that's been in the works for a while.
yeah. So they showed off a trailer. That's gonna hit Max on September 19th. Um, Amazon. They're doing a prequel to The Boys called Vault Rising. I have not seen the Boys. I really need to. I think I'm
I
gonna
watched the
start
first
that.
episode.
Huh? You
I
watched the
watched the
first
first
episode?
episode of The
Okay.
Boys. Yeah, it's
I've heard nothing but
it's
fantastic things.
it's fantastic. I will say it's expertly written, expertly directed. Everything. Well, I will say it is just heavy.
Okay.
Because it draws a lot of parallels. It kind of goes with a what you kind of watch it going, oh shit, like this. If we had superheroes in real life, this is how they'd
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
and it's
I know the
terrifying.
premise of it. I just haven't watched it. I need to.
Yeah.
Maybe by maybe by next episode I'll have it watched. I know Jensen Ackles in it, and I love that guy. So, But yeah, it looks like they're giving Boys is getting a prequel. No dates given there. Rings of Power, uh, season 2 premieres on August 9th. They showed some stuff on it. I think the first season was pretty panned, so maybe they rebound with the second season. Who the fuck knows? Um, Doctor Who gets a new spinoff. Disney revealed um, the new Doctor Who addition to the franchise that will jump back to the 1970s with the Sea Devils, an ancient group of beings who arise from the sea. It's made in partnership with the BBC. It will feature some other characters, so that's kind of cool. I know both of us are fans of Doctor Who that kind of took steps away from it, so maybe this will bring us in. Peacock announced a new horror series called Teacup. No thanks. I'm cool. Um, so they showed off some stuff around the new Dexter prequel series called Dexter Original Sins. So that's interesting. Amazon released a look at The Legend of the Vox Machina season 3 based on Critical Role, so that's cool. Always nice to see them getting even more success. Matt Mercer's literally my favorite voice actor, so all success to him. I've met his wife, Marisha Ray. She hosted a conference that I went to. That's pretty cool. Just an aside. I know people. But let's get into this big stuff. So Marvel obviously is the biggest stuff at San Diego Comic-Con. They're the biggest name in pop culture space. They are riding extremely high off of Deadpool and Wolverine, which is getting rave reviews. I'm not going to go into numbers because it's still opening weekend, but I'm sure they're crazy high and it's number one, and I know everybody loves it because everybody that I've talked to that's already seen the movie has said it's fantastic. One word, Nick.
No, it was pretty good. I saw it
That was
yesterday.
more
It
than
was
one word.
fantastic.
I
No.
haven't seen it yet just because some scheduling stuff, but I will see it soon. We will definitely do a review on it because I love Deadpool and Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and just all stuff. But so riding high off that, lots of announcements were made featuring Marvel. So we'll save the biggest one for last. So Fantastic Four, they've said that this is coming for a while here. They have a official title. It's Fantastic Four First Steps. It's going to hit theaters July of next year. But they showed off everybody in the costume for the first time. So Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Evan Moss Backrack, if I pronounced your name wrong, I'm sorry, as the Thing. They announced the villain, which is so surprising. It's gonna be Galactus. First fucking movie we're doing Galactus, but it makes sense when you consider some of the other announcements down the line. And he was going to be played by Ralph Ineson. They did a really cool drone show. I don't know if you saw that, but
Mm-mm.
they did a drone show and it was Galactus's face rising up over the LA Convention Center and it looked cool as shit. So if you haven't seen clips for that, it's pretty cool. It looked like Galactus was about to eat LA, so it's pretty cool. Um, but before Fantastic Four hits theaters, they announced that Thunderbolts is coming to theaters in May of 2025. Thunderbolts, if you're unaware with the comics, Thunderbolts are basically a Suicide Squad. So they're villains that have been reformed and basically are a Avengers subsidiary, if that makes sense. So it will be directly connected to Captain America: Brave New World. That introduces the team of super baddies whose specialty is government sanctioned black ops. Um, so in it, Russian spy Elena, which is Black Widow's sister, rest in peace, visits her father Alexei, who is the Red Guardian. Um, and finds that he's gotten lazy while she's been busy with contract jobs. While she's speaking with him, the footage shows her fighting her way through some covert location, where she encounters a few Marvel characters like Agent John Walker and Ghost. Yelena winds up jumping off a high-rise cliff, and the words "Careful who you assemble" appear on the screen. So Yelena, Red Guardian, Sebastian Stan is coming back as Bucky Barnes. Wyatt Russell is coming back as Agent Walker from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Hannah John Carmen's coming back as Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. And Julia Louise Dreyfus reprises her role as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. And I'm sure that is not where they're going to stop. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Thunderbolts are very interesting. Some of the biggest villain names have been a part of the Thunderbolts. Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, he was Iron Patriot in the Thunderbolts. Venom's been part of the Thunderbolts. So this could be swinging the door open for some new shit. They announced the next Avengers film, which we'll get into in a moment. Avengers 6 is going to be called Avengers Doomsday. It's slated for May 26th. And then following that, in May 2027, is Avengers Secret Wars. And the Russo brothers are coming back to do both these films, Doomsday and Secret Wars. So that is very exciting news. They also announced that Fantastic Four will be a part of both of those new Avengers movies. So this is what I was hoping for. I've called for this for a long time. I wanted the first family back in the MCU because they're part of so much. It sounds like they are using that.
As said before, after in game when Iron Man died, like you need a new front man, and because of the issues with Spider-Man with Sony, like you can't really use that. The next best thing would be Reed Richards.
Yes, for sure. Because there's really 4 guys that run the MCU, that run Marvel Comics. Tony Stark, who you just killed. Hank Pym, who you established as an old guy and is no longer heroing. Reed Richards, and Peter Parker, basically, who you have White Sisters. So that really just leaves fucking Reed Richards.
and Pedro Pascal as being your front man, like that's a good pick. Like Pedro Pascal.
I don't have any qualms or notes with the casting of Fantastic Four. I think it's fine. I think it's gonna be fine. As long as the movie's well written and they love these characters and really give the gravitas required to be the long running Marvel character, like you're fine. But let's get into the announcement that set the world on fire. So they announced that Avengers Doomsday is coming out next year in May. 2026 in May. Doomsday, man, that sounds like Doctor Doom. Guess who's in it? Doctor Doom. Awesome, sweet. I've been calling for him to come to the MCU as well. He's the villain that keeps on giving. He's a Fantastic Four villain on Saturdays, Sundays. He's a Omega level threat that involves the Avengers getting involved, and then on Monday he fights Spider-Man. Like he's the villain that never goes away because of his diplomatic immunity, and you can always pin him for a good story. But who would play Doctor Doom in this new crazy MCU fucking world?
Theoretically, if you played your hands right, it could be anybody because he's not supposed to take off the mask.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to be Victor Von Doom.
Well, no, but my point is like an actor-wise, you don't have to get a famous actor because Doctor Doom doesn't take off the mask. He is that Doctor Doom.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there are periods where he is without the mask. Like
sure, but most time he doesn't.
It gets grafted to him by an accident, but he ends up being able to remove it. But anyway, that's common. But who would play Doctor Doom? Well, in a very boisterous announcement, Robert Downey Jr. is revealed to be playing Doctor Doom. He is making his way back to the MCU in this new role. Um, and judging by Nick's reaction, feelings are mixed.
I'm not mixed at all about this. This is negative hype to me, straight up. This makes me like I'm willing. This is bad to me, awful. I'm willing to wash my hands of the MCU after Deadpool at this point, like straight up, because this is awful. Like I don't. Marvel has been hit or miss lately. Deadpool is fantastic, but I think it works the same way No Way Home worked. It feels like a closing of the book. The same way like Spider-Man was closing the book for like previous Sony works. This feels like closing the book for previous Fox works, which is okay. I'm cool with that. And that's I think is why Deadpool feels that way. But okay, going forward, we're getting the MCU and the MCU Pacific stuff. This is too soon to be doing nostalgia berries, dude. This is the same universe, and Tony Stark is dead. Robert Downey Jr. plays a pitch perfect Tony Stark, literally born for that role. And you're just gonna have the same face show up playing your most important villain. Really? This reeks of because there's been some granted, Deadpool's making money, but I think it's just Deadpool. Other Marvel properties like the Marvels, I don't think Thunderbolts is gonna make that much money. Ant-Man,
Thunderbolts could make the money. It depends on how they market it and who else is inside the movie.
Yeah, but like Ant-Man didn't do well at all. The Marvels didn't do well at all. Thor: Love and Thunder didn't do well at all. They do not have the track record they had from the first 3 phases right now. So this reeks of desperation to me. Like they want to, of course, they also had the whole issue with Jonathan Majors and Kang, because originally Avengers 5 was going to be the Kang Dynasty, not Doomsday.
Yes.
So because of all the issues, they're pivoting hard and trying to get butts back in seats by, whoa, look, it's Robert Downey Jr. playing him. Like it doesn't fit for how are they doing this? Because there's 2 possibilities. Either A, he is playing Victor Von Doom, which again, why are you making someone with the same face as your most important character be Victor Von Doom? Victor Von Doom should be Victor Von Doom. Like that's not going to play with audiences because they're like, that's Iron Man. What is he doing here? And you can't just like act like it's somebody else. Or you're gonna make the first time we see Doctor Doom not actually be Victor Von Doom. It's gonna be one of the like what if scenarios from the comics where Tony Stark became Doctor Doom. And if that's the first time we see Doctor Doom, that's just stupid. Like
so I have a little bit different take. I agree with you that it reeks of desperation. I do not think that this decision came from a sound Marvel. Because you're exactly right. The last 3 years worth of Marvel shit has been low lows and like 1 or 2 highs. Like honestly speaking. And so I do think because I think the last 3 good Marvel movies, Deadpool, Guardians 3, No Way Home.
That's correct. That's really is it.
And so I do agree that there's probably some desperation in this choice. I do agree that Jonathan Majors, coming out to be the fuckhead that he is, also affected Marvel's plans a little bit because it was supposed to be Kang Dynasty.
But also, I mean, with Kang Dynasty, like, what I don't understand is just recast Jonathan Majors, just recast Kang. You already have the structure built up leading to Kang. Like, to me, to have all this Kang stuff and then really quick, we're just to Doctor Doom real fast. Like, Doctor Doom should have a build up because he's Doctor Doom.
Yes. Well, that's why I'm surprised that they're using Galactus as the first villain for the Fantastic Four. You could have just did
Doctor Doom,
and who is inherently important to the Fantastic Four story because him and Reed Richards are arch rivals. And Galactus requires some build up. So there's lots of things that reek of desperation here.
You know,
I think
to me,
Jonathan Majors coming out as the fuckhead that he is gave Kevin Feige and Marvel the opportunity to be like, okay, we're going to scrap this. We're going to do Secret Wars because that means that we get to bring back the Russo brothers because they said we'd come back for Secret Wars. So I do think that there is a little bit of desperation of trying to recapture that Infinity War in-game magic, but that magic was cultivated over 10 years.
You know what? You know what this feels like to me? 10 years ago with Zack Snyder's DC.
A little bit. A
It
little
feels
bit.
like that.
Here's why I think it's a little bit different, though. I think they them casting Robert Downey Jr. is them trying not to throw out all the Kang stuff. Because Kang and Loki created essentially the multiverse. Now there's alternate timelines. I think that this Doctor Doom is going to be that what if scenario of Tony Stark, instead of becoming Iron Man, becomes Doctor Doom. And it's happened in the comics.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. And so I think what they are trying to do is pitch a little bit of nostalgia, but also circumvent expectations in a similar way than what they did with Infinity War. I mean, the ending of Infinity War is the greatest circumvention of expectations in pop culture. Everybody walked out of Infinity War going, "What the fuck just happened?" And it was brilliant. And so I'm hoping that they're trying to channel a little bit more of that here, because I think that it could be compelling to see the face of the Marvel universe gone bad. The problem is the logistics and landing it. And that's where all of my concern comes in, because you're throwing Galactus in here without ever building him up in the first Fantastic Four movie. Secondly, where the fuck is Doctor Doom's origins going to come through? Because you can't just throw him in here and expect him to be an Omega threat. And C, Secret Wars in the comics was kind of Doctor Doom's greatest achievement. I mean, he fundamentally changed the fabric of the universe with his magics. And because some superheroes meddled did it finally end up collapsing. But the way that it collapsed was into the new Marvel universe that we have today in the comics. So the fact that you're introducing him and then giving him his greatest accomplishment in terms of evil that's such a huge buildup that is not present at all.
But also the thing with Secret Wars, that wasn't a variant of Doctor Doom. That wasn't a Tony Stark becoming Doctor Doom person who did that. That was Victor. That was Victor Von Doom.
Yes.
Yeah, and so as I'm saying, all this feels like we're trying to rush to get that in-game Infinity War nostalgia back, and it's like, stop. Like, you have to build this up. Doctor Doom, Galactus, these are characters that need build up.
Yes.
Again, using Robert Downey and they also already have a whole ass what if show where you can do the Tony Stark becoming Doctor Doom thing but it works because, like, in the what if thing, we have a whole thing where Ultron kills Thanos, but that only works because you had both Ultron and Thanos in the thing, so we have the contrast already existing. We don't have nothing to contrast a Tony Stark Doctor Doom to. Yes. It's I said, this feels like DC 10 years ago to me.
Yes. It seems like we're doing two things too quickly. I am still willing to give the benefit of the doubt and say that this could be possible. I am cautiously optimistic. I actually think I like Robert Downey Jr. coming as Doctor Doom, because I think that that's an interesting dichotomy that you can play. It's just, here's the thing though. If they just say that he's Victor Von Doom, boom, it's over. If they say that he's Tony Stark from an alternate universe and you don't build that up, boom, it's over. Like, there's so many things that could have this house of cards collapsing down upon itself, that this is going to be either a stroke of genius or this will be Marvel's greatest failure.
There's a small window they have to bullseye to get it right, and I don't think they have the thing to get the shot.
I mean, it's a hard shot for sure.
It's an impossible shot to me. To me, it's such an impossible shot. I can't give them the benefit of the doubt because it's too impossible. And I'm curious. I'm wondering how this is going to play out in the power dynamics, because I feel like James Gunn is making some moves with DC and kind of pulling back some things and trying to start fresh again.
Yes.
His Superman project seems like I generally want to create a Superman who isn't, the mopey, kind of what it was like. It looks like, no, I want to create a Superman story, the Blue Boy Scout. I mean, it's weird. With Marvel doing the same mistakes DC made, are we going to kind of see a
I mean,
dynamic switch?
I think it's totally possible. I think the problem is that WB is way worse than Disney ever could be. So
No.
there is a potential where James Gunn hits it big, and then WB's like, you got to do this all the time, and then he doesn't, and then everything starts over again. But I definitely could see a world where we see it flipped, because James Gunn is somebody that fucking cares. That's the hallmark of what this industry is. If you care about the project that you're working on, it will be successful. And so for a while, it was Marvel putting in the work, caring, expert casting, caring. And that care with success has kind of waned. And everything that James Gunn has touched in this space has been gold. Guardians 1 through 3, The Suicide Squad. This new cartoon he's doing looks interesting. I'm gonna watch it. His Superman looks fantastic. Like, we could see a shift here, and hopefully, Kevin Feige is looking over at DC and looking at James Gunn's success and going, okay, we don't have him anymore. We got to make up the slack, and they start pushing forward. But yeah, I mean,
it just, to me, it would have, like I said, I've always preferred DC to Marvel personally, but I didn't want a world where like their power dynamic flipped. I would like it before where they both are.
Yeah, because that's how everybody wins. That's how everybody wins. I would love to see good, because I just love superheroes. So I would love to see a world where both Marvel and DC are fucking hitting 1,000, and I get to go see great movies every couple months based on my favorite characters. So, who knows? This could be a gamble. This could be the greatest gamble, or it could be a disaster. Who knows? Who fuck? Yeah, so I guess we'll just have to see. Ultimately, we'll just have to see. Tune into our channel for all those reviews, like I said before. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's really good. I mean, the world will yet to see. We'll see next year. So, with a couple of them. So, I am excited for new Marvel stuff, just in general though. New Marvel stuff that isn't actually new. It's just classic Marvel stuff. Like the Marvels, for instance, I was not interested in seeing. I like those characters individually, but not together. So it was, whatever. But
yeah.
But so Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, this is all shit I'm down for. So, but hey, let us know in the comments. What do you think of RDJ as Doctor Doom in whatever form that may be? What do you think of the Microsoft price hikes? What do you think about all of the unions and the SAG-AFTRA strike? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Also, let us know what other top 10s do you want to see us do. We have a couple more of them planned, but if there's a top 10 that you're interested in hearing, let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, do all of those things that every YouTuber on the face of the planet tells you, but we really just need you to, because if you like our videos, that's good. You should subscribe so you see the rest of them. And Nick, closing remarks?
I don't know. Go out and play some fighting games, man. It looks like we're in a good time for that. That's the positive about right now is fighting games. We're doing great over here.
There you go.
We're kicking.
Well, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Adios.